Hello, everybody, and welcome to Campus France Educational Fair. So today's episode is dedicated to French Business School, and we are very happy to introduce you to ICN Business School. We have today with us Elisa, we have Professor Uwe, and we have Zahan with us today. So good morning, everybody, because you are in France, so it's the morning for you, right?
That's right. So
Yeah.
hello, everyone. So I'm Elisa, and I'm going to present ICN afterwards. First of all, we're going to show you a little bit of a course, a mini course that we call by Professor Thierry Uwe, that will do the supply management chain for you today. And then I will do the presentation of ICN in general. And afterwards, we will have like a small chat with our student currently at ICN.
Okay, thank you very much. So just one word, because you before you start your presentation. So we will have some time for Q&A after the presentation, but feel free to drop your question during the presentation in the Q&A box, and we will make sure all of them are answered at the end of the presentation. Guys, make sure you stay until the end of the video, because we will have a mini game at the end of the conference.
Chào các bạn. Chào mừng các bạn đến với triển lãm du học Đại học Pháp với Campus France, và ngay bây giờ thì chúng ta đang gặp gỡ đại diện của ICN Business School. Thì mình chỉ lưu ý một chút xíu là các bạn sau cái phần mà giới thiệu của trường đó, thì trong lúc trường giới thiệu thì nếu mà các bạn đã có câu hỏi rồi thì các bạn có thể ghi ở trong cái phần Q&A ở phía dưới cái màn hình các bạn thấy, và xin các bạn hãy ở lại cùng với trường cho đến cuối chương trình nha, bởi vì sau chương trình này thì ngoài cái phần giải đáp thắc mắc thì chúng ta còn có phần đố vui trúng thưởng và với phần quà rất là hấp dẫn, cho nên hy vọng các bạn sẽ ở cùng lại với chúng tôi đến hết cái phần giới thiệu của trường nhé.
Okay, so there you go.
Let's go. Okay. Very happy to be here with you for this morning in France, and going to talking about supply chain management, because supply chain is very important for companies. And the subtitle of the presentation is From Creative Function to Creative Job Opportunities. In 15 minutes, it's difficult, but I'm going to try to explain what is the origins of logistics management, what is the different job that you can take after a program, MSCs, or master degrees in supply chain. The origins of logistics management, some words about the origins of logistics. It's really appeared in American company at the end of the Second World War. There has been a real craze actually for logistics for about 20 years, and actually it's the same. The application of logistics techniques increase the efficiency of industrials and commercial firms, and logistics thinking is very important today. It is essential in the current context of globalization and internationalization of the economy. The development of e-business, of e-commerce, makes its reflection even more necessary for companies. Origin of logistics is with an historical point of view. The first step is probably the World War II. The second step is probably the development of marketing, because logistics and marketing are very linked. And the first step is the development and the application of different techniques like MRP, manufacturing resources planning, and just-in-time philosophy within the company. And the last point is probably the significant increase in the use of information technology and digital technology in logistics management. Okay, the aim of logistics function is to satisfy, express, or latent needs under the best economic condition and for a given level of service. It's not so far from marketing, as you can see. It's not very far from marketing. And the role of the logistician, the person in charge of logistics activities in companies, is to control and coordinate the different flow. Physical flow, of course, the flow of goods, for instance, but not only physical flows, but the information flows too. And these flows which circulate in the company and between the different stakeholders that you can find in the supply chain. The main objective of logistics. What is the main objective is very easy to understand. It's to ensure the availability of a product, but not only a product, but a service in a good condition, with quality, at the right time for the customer, at the right place for the customer, to the right customer. Yes, it is very important too. And in the most cost effectively, it's very important to reduce to cut the cost during the process, because you have to be you have to reduce this cost, because logistics could be very expensive if you have some flow abroad. If you have an international activity, it's very expensive, and you have to reduce this kind of cost. But logistics is also a management tools for the company. For controlling physical and information flow, okay, but highlighting more functions in the company, decompartmentalize the supply chain functions, anticipating and managing the consequences of organizational change, and taking into account logistical constraint in the strategic decision in the corporate strategy in the firms. It's very important to take into account this kind of issues, because logistics is very important within the strategy of the company. But logistics is a sales tools. It's a kind of marketing tools, if we can say that. Avoiding disruptions and building customer loyalty. It's very important today to have a customer loyalty, because the market is very difficult. The competition is very hard between companies. Meet the deadlines for the customer, but not only for the suppliers too, and adapt to the most appropriate marketing methods. This is the role of logistics as a sales tools for this kind of point of view. But logistics is a source of productivity for the company to reduce stocks level, to reduce rust, to reduce irregularities in the value chains. It is important to have to see the logistics system as a source of productivity for the company. But why we can speak about supply chain today is so different from logistics to logistics. It's very different because we have a kind of evolution that you can see in this slide, a kind of evolution from logistics to a supply chain view, a supply chain management view in the company. And especially in the beginning of the 21st century, logistics is today most strategic, integrated, cooperative. It is a global view that you can find in company about logistics. And for all of this reason, we can talk about a supply chain view, not only a different step in the supply chain, not only a different blocks in the supply chain, but we can talking about a very global view of supply chains today. Because of what? Because of world competitions and pressure to survive for the company, because of the cost logistics identified in the overall cost of the activity is very important today, because you search the satisfaction and the motivation of all the players, all the stakeholders in the supply chain, and because new logistic information system and standardization of technology is necessary to have this kind of overview, this kind of global view of the supply chain. But what is a supply chain? The supply chain is a sum of blocks that you can find in this slide. With subcontractors, suppliers, the company, the customer of the company, and of course the end customers of the company. And you can find in these chains information, product, capital, and processes flow. And a keyword in this point of view, in this view, is the flow. And the one goal of the supply chain management is probably to speed up the different flow that you can find in this chain. Why it is necessary to manage a supply chain? Because today it's very difficult to keep your market shares. The price doesn't guarantee the market shares, and much less their increase. Providing goods and high level of service efficiently has become the key to hold a competitive advantage between the competition, between the competitors of the company, to win new business, to develop more profitable relationship with customer. And companies have reached the limits of their internal cost optimizations. This is one of the reasons why you have to develop this point of view. It is very important for a company to find another way to grow and become more efficient, because of mergers, because of different alliances that you can find in economic business. Conditions for integrate management of the supply chain. Think in terms of integration of function. It's very important to share information between the different functions of the company. Emphasizes the idea of share objective with industrial and commercial partners, and develop an overall management of the supply chain. It's very important to have this kind of point of view, the kind of view in your mind if you want to talk about supply chain management. New challenges. What is the new challenges for supply chain management? The globalization that requires more complex and creative solutions, a strengthening of proactivity by working on forecast to better manage risk, and a strong digitalization of supply chain. This is the case today. We can see a very, very important digitalization of the supply chain, and of course with the effect on supply chain management. An impact on skills, of course, we can talk about this, about skills, about competencies. Supply chain manager with a more global view. That it is probably our philosophy in ICN to give training to future supply chain manager, but with a global point of view, not only technical, but managerial with soft skill, etc. It's so important today for supply chain manager. And of course, sustainability in supply chain management. A sustainable supply chain is often viewed or seen as an asset for the customer. ICN and supply chain management. We have a program in ICN, an MSc program in supply chain management and purchasing management, a 2-year program. It is very global and international vision of logistics within and supply chain management in firms. Multiple facets of logistics and purchasing management are present in the program. We can have a very important topics as the management of complex processes with customers, supplier relationship and manufacturing processes, services, retail, of course, and an awareness of the impact on digital transformation, on innovation, on business organization. It is so important for our students to have this awareness, because digital transformation impacts a lot the supply chain management of firms. It's very important today. Some career and jobs opportunities for our students. Example of position as a logistics project manager, raw materials purchasing manager, logistics manager, system and procedure analysis, process and method analyst, supply chain management consultant, of course, quality manager, platform director, supply chain manager, etc. But in various sectors, not only industry with pharmaceutical industry, automotive, luxury, etc. But you can find agri-food, etc. And but in retails too, in services and in consulting. You have a broad, a large various sector that you can do supply chain management, and it's very, very large. Career are very large, job also opportunities are very large for our students. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Just some words about me. I'm Thierry Oyer. I'm the French professor of ICN Business School in Supply Chain Management. I am the head of the department in Supply Chain on Information System. And if you want to have some information about this kind of program, you have my email in this slide and the address of course, of ICN Business School. Thanks a lot for your audience, and don't hesitate if you have some questions. Yes, thank you.
Merci, thank you. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for the ICN presentation. So here you go. So my name is Elisa, and I'm actually based at our Nancy campus in the northeast part of France. And I'm going to present to you some things, some information about ICN Business School. And afterwards, we will have a small talk with our student. So, well, first of all, some facts about studying in France. It's actually the 4th host country for students' mobility, and it's the first non-English speaking country to host international students. So that's some important information about France's studying destination. Also, you will have precious student support. That's an advantage of studying in France for sure. So you have free access to culture. There's a lot of museums, as you could see on the previous presentation by Campus France. Obviously, the cheap public transportation. We have an excellent healthcare system. You can actually apply for housing aid. You can learn more about that with Campus France. And obviously, you can also apply for a stay-back visa after your end of your studies. So that's quite a useful thing. So about ICN, basically, well, what makes us different? We have obviously top-level teaching staff. Actually, 58% of our professors come from international backgrounds. We have tailored programs. Actually, there's a mistake in there, but we have tailored programs that are really updated, let's say, to nowadays requirements of the industry. We also give a lot of importance to professional experience. So through internships, you will have a lot of internships. So we focus also in the practical part of things and not only theory. Also, the personal student support. We have like pastoral care. We have also psychologists that helps the students to, let's say, get along with their life in France and their studies. So that's quite useful. And also we have different kind of services such as careers and internships, international office. So they can actually give you the tools you need to manage your studies at ICN and all the things that you need to do afterwards. And of course, the French culture experience. So that's quite interesting as well. We will have also the Bienvenue en France label. So that's basically like the Campus France and the government actually grants this label to all the institutions that have the standards to welcome international students. So we're part of this. We're very proud of it, actually. So some strengths about ICN. So we are actually a triple accredited institution. So what does that mean exactly for you, student? So is that basically we have the highest international standards in our programs, and it gives a lot of value to your degree afterwards. Also, our master management was ranked as the 10th this year, so by the Financial Times. So that's quite good. Of course, we're very proud of it as well. And we're actually the 16th business school in the world. So that's also quite a good ranking. And well, what makes us different from other business schools is that we have this concept that is called ARTEM. So it stands for Art, Technology, and Management. So basically, you will have 20% of joint classes for the School of Arts and the School of Engineering, at least for the master's level. In the bachelor's program, it translates into a different kind of approach. So it's the same concept, but it will translate more into transdisciplinary courses. Also, we have 70,000 alumni network. So we're quite an old business school. We were created in 1905 in the northeast part of France. So we have a strong network that it's very useful for students. So they can actually contact alumni that are currently working on different kind of companies. So you can actually connect with them, and maybe they can help you to get a job in the company that they're currently working at. Also, the international dimension, we have 118 partner universities around the world. So you can do an exchange, a semester abroad, or a double degree. We have also 130 business partners where you can do internships. And we have also 40 student associations that you can join, such as sport associations. We also have luxury design associations, humanitarian aid. So there's a lot of associations for everyone, let's say. So we're a multi-campus university. So we have one campus in Paris, one in Nancy, and one in Berlin for the master's level. So what about our Nancy campus? So it's our main campus. It's actually the biggest campus of the three of them. And well, we actually share it with the School of Arts and the School of Engineering. So as you can imagine, it's quite big. Also, Nancy as a city is a student city. It's not that big as Paris, of course, but it's quite I would say it's a safe city. It's really fun. There's a lot of activities for students all along the year. And it's only 1.5 hours away from Paris by train, which is great, I think, for you if you want to just go by for the weekend. About the Paris campus, we're located at La Défense, so it's one of the largest business hubs in Europe. So basically what this means is that you will be from the first year in the very heart of the economic activity of Paris and Europe. So that's quite interesting as well. Sorry, and actually the Paris campus, yes, so La Défense is like 20 minutes away only from the main center of Paris, so it's not that far away. But it's also a different approach, let's say, than the campus in Nancy as well. And obviously our campus in Berlin, it's also one of the smallest at the moment, but it's really nice. And I would say it's, well, as you can imagine, Berlin is quite a cosmopolitan city. So it's very international. So you will be with students coming from different backgrounds and different nationalities as well. And yes, it's really actually located in one of the most popular streets of Berlin as well. So about the programs, so we have a Bachelor in Management that is a 3-year program, one Master in Management that is a 2-year program with a double degree in the MSc of the specialization that you choose. In this case, it can be Supply Management for the previous course, for example. And we have also 1-year Masters of Science. So the Bachelor in Management is a 3-year program. You can obtain 180 ECTS credits. So why join our bachelor? So actually it was ranked as the best bachelor in France this year by L'Étudiant. So it's a national ranking, but still it says a lot about the quality of the program. It's of course recognized by the French Ministry of Higher Education, and we have the degree of licence that we call here in France. You can actually create your own path. I will explain later what does that mean. You can actually benefit from a range of student services, such as the career and internship support, company forums, pastoral care, and of course, the international experience. You can do internships or academic stays abroad. So that's very important also. So actually, the program structure is basically like what you're seeing right now. So it's the first year is very general. So you will have courses in finance, in accounting, and human resources, a little bit of everything. And then at the end of the first year, you have the first internship, 2 to 3 months professional experience. The second year, it's also consolidating what you learned from the first year, and you also have an internship at the end of it, or you can even join a student association as part of the curriculum. And on the third and final year, here is where it gets a little bit more exciting, because you can actually choose from the path that you would like to follow. So in this case, we have 4 different paths. So the first one, it will be specializing in one of these four specializations that we offer. So for example, in Paris, you can specialize in luxury management for a semester, and then on the second semester you can do an internship or an academic exchange abroad. On the second path, you can do an international exchange plus an internship, so that's also a possibility. The third path would be the English track. So in this case, if you start, for example, in the Paris campus, you will have to join the Nancy campus for the third year, where all international exchange students coming from our partner universities actually come from. So it's actually even more international, I would say, than the regular path in Paris. And the second semester, there's also a seminar in the French Alps. So you can go to the seminar. It's really fun. Of course, you will have courses, but you can also learn how to ski, for example. So it's very fun. And the fourth and final path will be the international double degree. So as the name says it, so you will have the degree from ICN and the degree from the other school. So after the bachelor's, here are some sectors our alumni currently work at. So as you can see, it's very diverse. It opens really a lot of doors for a 3-year bachelor's. And the salary is quite good for a 3-year bachelor's as well. So those are statistics, so they speak for themselves. It's really an investment. That's how you have to see it, obviously, because you'll have to pay obviously for the tuition fees and all this, but at the end, you know that you will have a good, let's say, quality of life afterwards. And as you can see, even more important and reassuring is that 100% of our students found a job in less than 6 months after graduating. So that's quite a good statistic results, I would say. So after the bachelor's, we have the Master in Management or the Master of Science. So the Master in Management is a 3-year program. As I told you, it's a double degree with the MSc of the specialization that you choose. So it can be in Paris, Nancy, or Berlin, depending on the specialization that you will choose. So here's a little bit about the structure of the program. So you have art-em courses. So as I told you, the courses with the School of Art and the School of Engineering. So those are actually called workshops. They're not even courses by itself. You will have also courses of the specialization and core management courses as well. You will have at the end of the 3 years, 9 months of professional experience. You have the possibility to take a gap year if you'd like to, for example, to do an exchange abroad, a semester exchange, or an internship, or both. So that's a possibility. And yes, the second and final year, it will be more specialization courses and less general management courses. So about the specializations that we offer, as you can see, we have 4 different families. We have 17 different specializations, so that's quite a lot. So as you can see, you have the name of the campus next to it. So for example, the supply management that you saw, actually it's in French, just to clarify, it's only available in French at the moment in the Nancy campus. So here are just some of the universities that we work with for double degrees and semester exchanges. So you can actually apply to these universities for a semester abroad or a double degree. And we also have this specific program that it's a little bit apart from the others, that it's called MIEX. So it's international MSc in International Management. That actually it's a triple degree. So you will obtain the degree from ICN, a degree from the University of Bologna in Italy. And the third degree will be from the university that you choose to do your second year. And basically you have, here's the structure of the program. It seems a little bit complicated, but basically we'll have this first semester in Nancy in ICN, second semester in Bologna in Italy, and the second full year you will spend it on one of the universities that you choose. For example, in China we have ECUST, we also have Mexico, Russia, Brazil, and our own campus in Germany, in Berlin. So you can actually choose to specialize depending on which country you're more interested in. And about our Masters of Science, we do have the same specializations that we offer obviously for the Master in Management. So those are only one-year programs. Here are also some of the career, the companies that we currently work with. So that's, I would say it's, some of them, you might know them already, such as Chanel. We also have Swarovski. We also work with Hermes. We also work with IKEA. So obviously some of them are very well known. So that also speaks for itself about the force and the power of ICN that within the workforce as well. So also about the master's degree, what can you do? So actually here's the same as for the bachelor's, for the master's level. So all the statistics for this master program. So you can actually have quite a good salary afterwards, and also found a job in very quick after graduation. So how to apply? So it's quite simple. You have to apply through our online platform. So we open applications at the end of November until July. So actually you have to upload all the listed documents here. So curriculum, motivation letter. There's also a recommendation letter, your transcripts from the last 2 years, your degree, of course, the TOEFL, TOEIC, or IELTS score, in case you're studying in English, of course, or the DELF test for the programs in French. After you complete your application online, we will send you a link for a pre-recorded video interview. So basically you will have to answer to around 10 questions that the director of the program will be asking you that are already pre-recorded. So that's the name of the pre-recorded video interview. So you answer to these questions. Basically, they're mostly actually meant to be for, we will measure your motivation for the program, your level of English or French, if it's the case. And we will also see a little bit about your personality. So we give a lot of importance to that. Afterwards, we will send you the pre-admission email. So basically we tell you you're admitted and at ICN. Congratulations. And we also require a deposit, a down payment for 4,000 euros. That's basically just for us to ensure that you as a student are engaging into coming to ICN, because we have limited spots for international students as well. So yes, so that will be the process. Afterwards, we will send you the admission letter. So you can actually do the visa process with Campus France, for example. And yeah, that will be in general matters, the application process. So here are some of the tuition fees for this actual year. For next year, they might change a little bit. We still don't have them. And yes, that will be it. So I'm gonna go ahead maybe and just stop the presentation. Well, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Maybe if you have some, if you want to note the address, the email addresses for a while. And I think we're gonna start our conversation with Dang right now for some questions that I'm gonna ask her. So actually, she's a student at ICN. Obviously, she's Vietnamese, and she joined the ICN last year, for the MSc in International Business Development. So
exactly.
So how are you, Dang?
I'm quite good. Like a weekend to start a weekend is quite good.
That's great.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would like you to tell us more about how would you describe the student life in Nancy, because you're right now in the Nancy campus. Because the specialization, the international business development, is based in the Nancy campus for the information.
Yeah. So actually, the student life in Nancy is quite happy for me. After I'm leaving Vietnam for study, I basically based in the region Nancy Metz. So compared to other city in the region, I would say that Nancy is actually a student city that can help you a lot. There are a lot of support, not only inside ICN, not to mention that like in ICN we have a lot of association in control in a lot of aspects that can help you on during your school time. And also there are a lot of more association, for example, a Vietnamese association for students in Nancy, and a lot of event to exchange from between international students. So I would say it's quite open, international, and it's easy to live. In fact, easy to find a flat, easy to move, transportation, and so on. So it's quite happy for me. So,
that's great. And what did you like the most about ICN?
About ICN, I would say I think it's the diversity and the support from not only the professor in school, but also friends. So actually, I spent already 5 years in France, and the year before I would stay in the normal university in France. And basically, sometimes I would say, honestly, I would feel a little bit lonely, because usually people are a little bit more narrow-minded. So it's quite upset. It's not everybody, but some people like that. And when I arrived in ICN, it's a totally different environment. A lot of people from international who come. So I would say people have more open-minded, and they help you a lot during school, not in the class, but outside. We go out a lot. We travel together. So it's quite perfect, I would say.
Great, yeah. And why did you choose to study at ICN? What was the main reason, and well, some of the reasons that you choose to study at ICN?
Yeah, because as I said, I choose to integrate ICN for a master degree, and because I found that master is the last step before I come to a working labor. So I decided to find something, I would say, less academic, but more practical, to have more experience. And when I found that ICN have a lot of partner, not only for university, but working too. So I think that many factors that I decided to choose ICN, and but the main reason I think is because they have a lot of partner in the world. So it might be a good point for me if I have to looking for a job. So that's all.
Yes, definitely. That's very helpful. Well,
that's very important for me.
That we have. That's for sure one of the main reasons our students actually join ICN. And yes, I showed you previously in the presentation, as you could see, all the business partners that we have. So that's also very important to consider as well. And well, is it necessary to speak in French, like to study at ICN at least, or in general in France?
Because my program is fully in English. So most of the time I will speak English with friends and professor, But outside class, for sure, sometimes we still speak French, and it's not a problem for me because, as I said, people have open-minded. So if you don't arrive to speak French for a moment, you can switch easily. Like a lot of time, our conversation is a mix of English and French because it's quite funny. And sometimes we arrive and we don't know why we speak English, as we are both speaking French, and so it's quite funny. But it's easy. It's not a big problem for people who actually don't speak French or speak just a little bit. It's not a big problem. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Actually, I want to mention to all students that we have a French language school that will open for next year. So you can actually join this French language school that we call. So it will be like 2 weeks before the start of the courses. It will be separate from, let's say, obviously the program that you will be following, but that's just to improve your French language or even learn from scratch French if you're interested. So that can be very useful for daily life. I would say it's much easier if you speak some French, I would say, even if the programs, of course, are in English, and you can well improve along the way. Of course, if you have maybe a basic level of French when you're starting the program, at the end, hopefully you will have a B2 level that will be great for you because it will be an advantage afterwards. So, well, thank you very much. I think we're reaching at the end of the presentation. So it was great to have you, everyone here, and to have the presentation of our student. That's very useful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We have some questions in the Q&A box. We don't have a lot of time yet, but we can try to go through them. So the first question is from Huyen Huang, who's asking how many letter or professional reference do you require? This person is a bit worried because he or she graduated a long time ago, and so yeah.
Yes, well, actually, they're not mandatory, so it's optional. We required like 2, let's say, ideally, but if you have 1, it's also great. And it can also be a professional recommendation, so it doesn't have to be only academic.
All right.
Okay, thank you. And then another question from Eileen. Hi, I have a bachelor degree in biotechnology. Can I transfer to a master degree in management? Will the school accept it? Do I need any additional requirement to change major?
No. We actually, well, depending on the specialization that you choose, it will depend on mostly on this. But honestly, we are mainly looking at profiles and motivations that only the backgrounds that you have. So if you really justify, let's say, with your motivation letter, why would you like to do something so different from what you did before? It's totally possible. It's not a problem at all.
All right. So the next question, but I think you've mentioned that already. The student is asking about the scholarship for MSC's program.
So, well, scholarships in general, we do not handle what we call scholarships at ICN. In this case, we advise you to, reach maybe Campus France to see if there are some scholarships available that might interest you. The advantage, let's say, of the MSc programs is that they have this alternated rhythm that we call. So it's basically 1 week of courses and 3 weeks off. So you will have time to maybe get a part-time job just to finance your studies. Also very important, we have we might have for next year an early bird discount on the tuition fees if you are interested maybe on applying. Usually we put it like from November when we open the applications until the end of March. So you apply earlier, of course. And last year it was 10%, so it's quite I would say a good percentage of the tuition fees. Next year, I'm not sure exactly how much will be the percentage, but it can be also a way to, let's say, reduce the cost of the tuition fees. So you have to see it as an investment more than something that you just have to pay and that's it. So it's an investment on your future.
Okay, and the next question, if we apply to both Nancy and Paris School increase possibility. Do we need to send application twice?
No, actually, you have to do only one application, and we will ask you to choose two different programs, two different specializations in the order that you prefer, and you will be affected to one or the other. Not actually, we won't tell you you're admitted in both. It's up to you to choose. So that, yes.
All right. And the last question is we have a student wondering if you have any digital marketing training or program.
Yes, we have a digital management in the Berlin campus that will open for next academic year, but it will be only in Berlin. And otherwise, we have also management numérique in the Paris campus, but it will be in French.
All right. Okay, so I think we went through all the questions. Thank you very much. And now, guys, it's time for the mini game. So I'm just gonna explain the rules very quickly. So first, everybody is gonna open the chat box. Then I will share my screen and you will see the one question. We will read the question and then we will give you a signal on the chat box. We will write go, and only after that you can write your answer. You will have 4 possibilities, only one is correct.
Bây giờ thì là đến phần đố vui trúng thưởng nha các bạn. Thì như bạn Juliet cũng có giải thích là bây giờ thì các bạn sẽ nhìn thấy trên màn hình Campus France sẽ chiếu câu hỏi và các bạn sẽ lưu ý là mình sẽ trả lời ở trong cái phần chat box, và khi nào bên Campus France ra hiệu bằng cách comment bằng chữ go thì các bạn câu trả lời đúng sau chữ cô đó mới được tính nha các bạn. Và các bạn lưu ý là bạn nào đã tham gia chơi và đã có những phần quà của những phần trước rồi thì mình nhường cho các bạn khác nha.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. So here is the question, guys. ICN has how many accreditations? 0, 1, 2, or 3? And you can start.
Rồi bây giờ các bạn đã có thể trả lời rồi nha. Wow, các bạn trả lời rất là nhanh luôn.
Okay, so the winner.
Và bạn có câu trả lời nhanh nhất là mình thấy có nick là Khương Chu. Vì bạn trả lời đúng là câu D là 3, 3 accreditation.
Okay, congratulations. So
vậy thì bạn Khương Chu hãy gửi trong phần chat box luôn, mà chị gửi cho host là chị gửi cho Campus France thôi. Thông tin họ tên, email và số điện thoại của bạn để Campus France liên lạc với bạn hình thức gửi quà nhé. Bạn gửi liền luôn để cho Campus France có thể lưu lại nha. Cảm ơn bạn Khương Chu.
Okay, so this is the end of the conference. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope to see you next year, maybe in Vietnam, if possible.
Hopefully. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day, and see you soon.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
So we are just still waiting for the winner to give us his email address.
Bạn Khương Chu ơi, mình chưa thấy bạn gửi thông tin cá nhân của bạn á. Bạn nhắn trên phần chat box giùm nhé. Họ tên, ngày tháng năm sinh và họ tên, số điện thoại và email để cho Campus France liên lạc á.
So we have a lot of students saying thank you for the conference. It was very nice. But yes, so the winner, can you please write your email address in the chat box so we can contact you and send you your present? Thank you everybody for watching the conference, and we see you in a few minutes for EDEC Business School.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi phần giới thiệu của trường ICN, và mình sẽ đợi trong một vài phút nữa để đến với phần giới thiệu của EDEC Business School nha các bạn. Mình vẫn chưa thấy bạn người thắng cuộc gửi thông tin. Không biết là bạn có thoát ra sớm hay như thế nào không ta? Nếu mà vẫn không, bạn Khương Chu ơi, nếu mà mình bây giờ thì vẫn chưa thấy câu trả lời của bạn thì chắc là mình sẽ chọn người thắng cuộc trả lời sau bạn nhé. Gửi trong message rồi. Mình vẫn chưa thấy. Bạn có thể reply lại được không bạn Khương Chu? Bạn gửi trong message là gửi ở đâu nhỉ?
Bạn gửi trong chat box mà gửi riêng.
Bạn nhắn trong chat box mà bạn chỉ chọn riêng cho host thôi.
Okay, so we're gonna have to end the meeting. What did you say? All right, so we have all the information we need. Okay, so we see you in 10 minutes for EDEC Business School.
Xin chào các bạn nha, và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.